Alright, perfect. We're live. Alright, so welcome back. This is going to be, we're going to do a Heather Sims case revisit. Something that needs to be known about soul portraits is what I'm going to show tonight. This is going to be private episode 1, soul portrait number 102. This is the Paula Sims, Heather Sims case. Mother murdered infant daughter. There's a backstory in the description, so you can see that there. So go ahead and get into it. We are going to share my screen. So we're going to go back to this photo again. This was the photo from the video that I showed last night. You can actually see this photo yourself if you go search the YouTube video, and you can find that information from the video from last night. So what I wanted to point out, let me go ahead and open up the program and bring the picture in, is a lot of times when I'm doing soul portraits, I talk about how I manipulate the images that I use. And it's very important to me that that's documented, because I need for people to, understand that there's, exactly what I do to the photo. So this is nothing that anybody who is wanting to recreate would be able to do as well. That was very important to be pointed out so that that's known. And make sure you guys are here with me. Oops, I can't do it right there. Let me just open up the photo real quick. Yep, you guys are there with me. Okay. Okay, it's broadcasting saying that I have 2 viewers, which I'm going to exit out of my version of it and see if that changes to 1 viewer, because this is definitely supposed to be an unlisted video. I may need to go back in, and I don't know how I would make it so on YouTube, but it's definitely, it told me it was an unlisted video right there. It says 2 are watching now. Can't see, so I guess I'll go ahead, since I have a copy of it open too, I'll go ahead and continue, because that could be my stream watching. If there is an anonymous person in here, I would love it if you comment and let me know how you found the link. So, okay, we'll get back to it. So, one thing that was important for me to point out is that when I brought this photo in last night, which my original feeling into the matter, man, I keep making that mistake, is that this photo right here was the photo that I was going to try to fit in. And if you watch that video, you will see that I did do this procedure right here, which is how I usually start the procedure, where I will try to line up where I see the face at. And so when I went back and was watching the live before I came on, so this is the live. You can see this was from last night. So basically I'm recreating what I do. So in the event that what I noticed was Heather is pointing this way. So she's pointing down this way. In the picture from the video, Heather is pointed down this way. So this is what I wanted to make known about soul portraits tonight on this particular private, is that there are times when I talked about how I manipulate the images. Sometimes the images need to be flipped. So that's what I'm going to do right now, and then I'm going to put it in there, and I'm going to try to size it up. So I'm just going to come in here and grab it, and just shrink it down so we can see what I'm doing here. we're going to unlock it. This is also part of the program is to show you about, I am on a freeware version. It's a Windows compatible. It's pixlr.com. You can see it right there. Don't worry about all that. If you want to go try to do the same thing that I'm doing, this is where you would go, is to pixlr.com. And then you're going to choose Pixlr X. You can see right there. That's Pixlr X. That's just so you know on the software. So we needed to unlock it. We did. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to go in here and flip horizontal. So we just turned the baby around. We're going to save. Everything, same file size. Everything is the same. We've only flipped the picture. So that is an important part a lot of times of soul portraits, is that you may need to flip the image. I've had that happen several times now. And as a matter of fact, let me look and see, because I think that I actually, yes, I did. So this file is named REV at the end, so that's reverse, so that means that I flipped it. So there is the actual reverse that I did yesterday, so you can probably catch that in the 4-hour, sorry about that, replay. Let me check something out here real quick. Oh, wow, you guys are not even, sorry about that. Hang on just a second. Let me share the right screen. That would be good. Whoops. Okay, that's one of those, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? Okay, so, wow. Hello, can you see that screen now? Hang on, we're going to get it back. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? So, I'm just going to go ahead and take myself out of the equation and go back here. So, what we have done is we have taken this picture, and let me make sure that we're on the same page. Yes. I have taken this picture. I have flipped it like you just heard me. So, what it is I have taken the picture as it was right here, and I have flipped the picture. So, let me grab it. I can't believe I did that. Of course, we gotta wait for my computer. Uh-oh. Hang on a second. I gotta figure out where I saved it. So, it definitely went to the wrong folder. So let me save it to the right folder real quick. Wow, this is turning out to be pretty good live so far, right? Alright. Alright, we got it now. Here we go. So we just took this picture of Heather and I just flipped it. You guys, I can't do it in the same program, in the same window, because it'll flip the whole image. So there you go. There's what we did. We just went and flipped it. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and take that one out, and let's work with this one for a minute. So this is why I wanted to revisit, because the face that I did put in, Heather's face that I did put in, was a pretty good representation with the eyes open. But I did want to see if maybe it was this picture or another picture that you can see fairly, very clearly. So I'm not sure if this is the actual picture or it's the other one that I want to try. So you can see the only thing I'm doing is making the picture bigger, smaller, and turning it. So I'm going to say no, definitely, that it's not this picture. because if it, let me try something real quick. Maybe it was because I was looking at it from that angle. Nope, it definitely does not fit the image. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of that, and we're going to go in here, and I don't even know what the other picture is yet that I'm looking for, but I know I've seen it. It is another picture of Heather. That's Heather. That's Loralei, her sister. I don't see the picture. It would be, oh, there's the picture. It was the picture on the flyer. Okay, perfect. Alright, so let's open that. So there we go. And I also actually really do need to I probably should have cut this picture a little better. Background in this case with everything that's in the actual picture should actually be what it is. So I'm going to cut that real quick. This is a part of Soul Portraits as well. You will spend time removing and getting it down to what you need it to be. Cutting background out of the picture, that was a little much. There we go. So we'll do down this way. Nope, I don't like that one. There we go. And we're going to do down this way. And I may actually put the writing back in. Possibly. So, okay, so let's work with this real quick and see what we got. Gonna go ahead and do my thing here. My computer might be a little hemmed up as well, so I gotta close that out. Okay. Scoot that up. Look at that. Is anybody else seeing this? I think this is it right here. So this is definitely are you seeing this? Are you watching? So this is definitely an important part about soul portraits is that, the doublemint is another feature that I wanted to, go ahead and talk about a little bit because the doublemint, and that's just a coin that I started calling it, is because I have found portraits. Let's just take a moment. Now, I just want to point out, did you see how Spirit just did that? It allows me to drop it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I don't even know. So, this is a brilliant example of how I feel like Spirit guides my hand. So, there is not much at all that needs to be done with this photo. A little manipulation, but wow. So we're going to play with it a little bit. Now, when I was first looking at this photo yesterday, and I'm just going to do this real quick. This is without the photo that I just put on top of there. So when I did look at this photo, me knowing the case, and I know that, it's a baby that was found inside, that definitely makes a huge difference for me as far as, seeing what I see because I know. But when I also look at this image, I can also see where I could fit a possible adult face in here. So the reason why I'm pointing that out is because I know the circumstances and what I'm looking at. If you didn't, and I was able to guide you to at least, do you see the face? Oh, yes, I do see the face. I automatically know it's the baby just because of whatever, ability that I have. But you may see it as, a bearded guy, a guy with glasses, whatever. What's interesting in that theory, and I'm going to go ahead and switch over here to um, this other screen. Wow, I should have had this been able to be pulled up. Okay, let me. So what's interesting behind what I just said was because you may see it as a guy, um, with a beard, and you know, what I'm talking about here is what we just saw right here, the example that we see right here. I can literally also, and I'm going to stop sharing this and share the other screen again. I can also, um, oops, wrong one. Hang on, bear with me. Stop screen, share screen, share the right screen. Let's try it. Sorry. I definitely know now which screen. I'll get better at this, I promise. Okay. Add it to the stream. So, when I look at this picture, now I just showed you a bearded man. So, it possibly could be, I was always wondering about, what's his name? Sorry. I went too far. Robert is what I'm wanting to call him. Where are the files? Yeah, Robert. So I think you guys can see that, but I can't go tell. So, just thinking about along the lines of, maybe did he know a little more than, his son vehemently denies that his father, knew anything about both babies. So, but, that would be, something that could be kept secretive, I guess. But, who knows? Anyways, he's the one that had the weird hang up. So just saying, is it possible that, and I'm trying to see if I can see a depiction, a better depiction of what I see in the picture that could be him. That was as close as I came right off. I'll give you guys a little sneak peek. There's the next soul portrait. James Bradley Wren. Probably. I don't know. I'm still exploring. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up that picture that I have of him anyways. and just have it on tap. And maybe play around with it for a second. And maybe just be like, I know I'm getting way off center, but you have to admit it is interesting. I better move that layer up because I don't know what I just did. Let me move him up and then make him. Let's move him out of the way for a sec. I don't know. Just kind of playing around with, because I wondered about him because he had the hang up, the weird hang up. Yeah, that's way too big. No, I'm hitting him. Let's see. So where I kind of came to in the conclusion is a lot of times I am able to put a murderer in a crime scene photo. Now, I don't know if you just saw that, but what just happened right there was I took my finger up off the mouse and the mouse jumped up a little bit. And I know that that can be a natural reaction, um, but it happens a little too often and it's a little too on target. When it does happen, it drops it usually. There's a reason it dropped it there. Can you see the reason coming through? It's crazy. Like, I don't know. Sorry. Elated when it is possible. It just has to be fit in the right way. Oh, did it just happen? No, it's still off a little bit. And I see it a different way. If I'm going to put a grown man in there, this needs to be bigger. Let's see. Excuse me. Definitely bigger. Yeah, I'm not getting it. So usually when I play around with it like this and I'm not getting it, even though it could be a close matchup, this line kind of meets up with a little alteration right here. You can definitely see him. But would that have been, wow, look at that. Where's the rest of his suit go? Is this his suit jacket right here? Wow, let's drop that down. That's a 4. And this is a good example of spirit inverting the light. I can see the light becomes inverted at these points right here. The same as in the actual photo, and that's his tie. Look at it a little more zoomed out. So I'm going to point out another interesting point. While I'm staring, I'm seeing like points like this, points like this. So when you bring that into focus, that dark points like this, look what it turns into. Dark. Yeah. So yeah, just, going back and forth, there are lots of things that, scenarios that I've put with everything to try to figure out what's going on mainly. So yeah, I may even try to turn this photo too, because you can see he's looking off to the side this way, and when we see it without it, it's more towards this direction. So I may even try to flip that, like I just told you about um, the baby, the picture of Heather that I just flipped. So I'm taking him out. And I don't know, do I even have Heather in there? What is that? Okay, what did I do? Is this where we were? Wow. Okay. So let's look at this a little bit closer up. So we're at zero opacity. Just going to point out a couple things. Let me make sure you guys are even on the page. Okay, yes you are. Okay, great. So let's fade the baby in. I can see Dad. Nostrils are in good position. Lips are in the right vicinity. Shadows are good. Especially when we get to this, because we can definitely still see that switch up. But now it's dark. So it kind of is mapping out. So this looks like it could be a pretty good match. Now, I do see where I feel like it should be turned. That's one thing that you'll run into with this program. Unless I would have cut the baby out of the picture the other way, then I could have had more control over it, because now where I only cut it out this way, and I can actually put the whole image back in. If I would have just cut the baby's face out, then I would have more control, because there's more of the background picture up here than of just the baby's face. If it would have been just the baby's face, the square would have been right there. But because I didn't, and this is the whole picture, I have to zoom out, and a lot of times that'll make me lose my train of thought, because if I could just do it right then and there and move it, it would be a lot easier. So keep that in mind. It doesn't, the background, if you're trying to get a perfect match, you would want to have a picture of the face cut out. Especially in a more darker surrounding, you're not going to be able to see anything that was in the picture. And this possibly could fit. We can actually do that as a test too while we're in here. So let's go back in. And I want to do it up close again. Excuse me. And this is kind of the thing that you have to let go of too, because this is not an exact science. So, we're still dealing with human 2D eyes that see it. This is looking pretty good. So what I was looking on here was how you can see the dark, the variation come in right here. When you do fold that picture in, you can see that there is, indicators. It's dark here, it's light here, it's light here, it's dark here. So when we fade that back out, there's 100% fade out. We still have the same play with light, even at, cutoff points that the actual picture has. So that's definitely a big thing that I wanted to point out, is how when I first see the image, I'm seeing the image probably on about a 2 to 3. So when I was watching the video, my sense is heightened, and this is what I actually saw, whereas most people, so you see how close my matchup is there? So this is another reason why I talked about background and stuff, because when you bring that picture back in, what I haven't cut off, see what I missed? So we'll go ahead and cut that out real quick. It says for GP, because it really wasn't supposed to be left in the picture. I'll just point out here also, this was another pretty significant fact for me, that when I first started doing soul portraits, wherever I would cut the photo, and I was, at that time I might have even cut out the babies, around the baby's head, and left this out. But wherever I would cut would match the picture. So that was how it kind of was like, well, it doesn't even matter about the background, because this is exactly the same this is a pretty good match right here. If you can see it this closely, when the picture is in full bloom, it needs turned just a little bit, but it's almost there. So yeah, I was just going to point that out, that Spirit will give me indicators of where things should be measured up at. So this isn't an awesome example of it, but I was just saying, because, we have a major point right here. Now I would actually be interested in seeing, and I'm going to use the draw and keep, and just see what that is there. Let's bring that picture all the way in and see if it's in the picture. Nope. So at first that might be an actual thing. See how remember I told you how Spirit loves to play with light and dark, but it's not enough to keep people drawn in. You can see it, I can see it, because we're sitting here pointing it out. Can you see the line? Even when we go up to 100, you still get the continuation. How is that possible? Of this area right here. So like I said, we if we even manipulated it to where it would match, it may match up. We still have a little bit to go. It's close, but this baby's definitely bigger than this baby's face. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing that because that's really the first thing I see is the baby needs shrunk down. Okay. Now, here we go again with the fact that, and really quickly, I need to just cut that and go with it because I really need to have better control over this baby's face. So I'm going to leave that there. We're going to go here. Going to bring you back here. And then I'm going to share this other pixel real quick. Wrong pixel. It's really confusing when you have more than one up. Okay. Add that in. So now we're going to, we can keep it right on here. This is actually the flipped picture that I did. So I'm going to go in here and now crop this picture because we literally only want the face. It's just distracting the other way because I don't have control over the picture like I need. So we'll save that. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to grab you, bring you back over to the other one. See, that's why it's back, because it switches up on me. Let's exit out of that. Now I only have one pixel to choose from. Good deal. Alright. So I'm going to full screen this. Let's get rid of that. So this is the picture, and now we have, you can see where the red square is, the blue square now. That's how big the picture is with all the background in it. I'm going to show you that real quick because I can put that right back in the picture. So if we bring this up to 500 and go like this, that's the actual picture. So because I didn't do what I just did in the other window and just go in and cut out, oops, that's why that's the case. I'm going to close this and undo those changes just so you can still keep an idea. So I'm going to go in here and grab the image that we just made, which is Heather's, just her face. Immediately bring her transparency down. Oh, that's the wrong picture. Okay, just give me a moment. I'm glad this is an instructional video and not a publicly shared video. Alright. And I don't have one open, so I have to open one up. But this will help me to know which tag-on thing I'm supposed to be sharing. Alright. So we're just going to open up the image new because obviously I'm struggling. And I'm looking for the flyer picture again. Actually, I saved the wrong one. Okay. There's the second flyer, by the way, of Loralei, and she was missing. And here is Heather's flyer. So we're going to go ahead and do an easy quick cutout on this one. We're going to just choose this way. And actually, I'm going to redo that because I want to get more of that top. I'm going to redo. There we go. I wanted to kind of keep that finger in there too. Perfect. So we're going to close that out. And we're going to crop. So now what we'll be working with will be a lot easier to have control. And I wouldn't normally do this. This is actually perfect. This is because I'm only doing this in training. If I was, I would just work with it like it was, if that's what I had to do. So that nobody thinks that I'm trying to manipulate the picture in some crazy way. Alright, let's exit out of here. And I'm going to bring you back into where we're going to put it. Alright, perfect. So there we go. This is the old picture with all the background. We're going to bring in the new picture now that we just made. Is it the right way? It is not. It is the wrong way. Let's see. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. I think I was tripping. Okay, this is so dang close. I'm gonna actually get that out of the way now. This is so dang close. It's a little smaller. Let's start playing. Now you can see it just popped out of my hand, kinda. Whoa, trippy. I think this is it. Very interesting light points going on. I can actually move over a little bit. Oh, I don't know if I want to though, because that face is on there. Mouth, the whole nine. The little lines right here of the lip. See the white line? Nope, definitely not right yet. But very close. Getting closer. That might be it. I think we got a match. Now, I want to play with this edge line, this edge line, just to see. That's pretty amazing. So what I'm looking at is how my edge line comes out. And ironically enough, it's almost in the direction. Interestingly enough, we have a light source guide point. Now, we can go one of two ways when you're doing soul portraits. We can take out the parts of the picture that really aren't relevant, like the white, to us seeing the baby's face here. I've done soul portraits before where that's the case, and I've done that and kind of just critiqued it around. Interesting, though, to leave in the light points because, you can really see cutoffs, you can see lines. So when we really go up here, this line right here is really the baby's face. That's probably an ear, maybe. But you can see where the chin comes up. So you can see why I would cut it that way, because you can see this natural line right here. And so it's easy to, manipulate that line where the baby's face should be and take that off. But I still do feel like it's important to, leave the pictures as is. So I just want to restate that again as to, I just believe that it adds to the validity. There we go. Now that is just about perfect. See this line right here? So when we bring baby in, the line remains. So I believe this is as close as I've gotten so far. I'm going to close up on it a little bit better. I mean, I don't think that could be any more perfect right here. So this was the reason that I wanted to come back in and re-examine, because I just felt like we still need to see this picture of this sleeping baby. Look at that sleeping baby. Now, I even see where more adjustments can be made. That's why it's important to play around with the photo and look at it in different. It's pretty good. But I can still see maybe this needs to be a little bigger. See that? That's looking good. Face is lining up really good. Let's bring it in a little bit more. Love how lines are matching up. I'm kind of looking at the area. It's mapped out right. Oops. Let me move that back. Mapped out right here. So when I bring that back in, and now I'll remind myself again, because it's really easy to get thrown off if you don't have all your tools at your disposal. So this is what I was talking about, this triangle area. Oh, okay. So you can even see this little distressed area down here. You can see the line right here. The dark part. I mean, it almost lines up even with this part of the photo, too. It might be a tad bit off, but pretty darn close. Okay, I can maybe see just a little bit smaller. Now this is something that Spirit will get on me for trying to be too perfect. That's why I'm constantly always reminding people that this is not an exact science. Because it is definitely, it's what you want to do. You literally want to make it the way that you know that it fits in there. It's bizarre. It almost starts becoming an obsession. And it's not an exact science. It's, to me, it's way more than a coincidence, because how can the baby that was discovered in this trash can, and this was 5 seconds in the clip that I was given, and that's what I saw. That's a little deep. So I see it probably about half that. That's literally when I saw the image, I saw that. Go up a little bit for you. So when that 5 seconds was rolling on the screen, everybody else was like, oh my gosh, the barrel. And I'm like, Oh my gosh, there's a baby. There's a baby there. There's a baby's face. But then, like I said too, I had wondered about. I don't know if you noticed that where it just jumped. Yeah, that still doesn't feel right. So yeah, this is basically thinking out loud, trying to see what. I don't know. I feel like me personally, feel like I don't know how you could live with somebody that kills two babies and not know, like their odd behavior or something should be able to give them away. This is coming pretty close though. Not at all. So yeah, sometimes it has to be put in perspective because I still don't see him. So when we take him out and just put baby in. So good. I'm glad that we ended up coming back to this subject. I just wanted to do this as a live to kind of get a chance to break it down into what other possibilities can happen. It really does take, when you can get it matched this closely, this is it. Now, the soul portrait that I did yesterday, the baby with her eyes open, I believe that that is what I would consider a doublemint. Not the traditional, because a doublemint is usually I could see Heather here and maybe over here, and even maybe right here. So a doublemint is when I've had them appear behind each other. So I wouldn't necessarily call this a doublemint, um, but that was my indicator to know that I'm on the right track because the other picture fit really well. So now when I come back and post these pictures and people see those pictures, I don't even know. I don't know where, it'll lead to. I don't really know what the possibilities could be anyway, so I like that the lines are kind of mapped out. If I would have really had that whole picture in there, I mean, it's really perfect when it comes down to the cutoff in the actual picture. So that turns into this huge drop off. And so it's not a perfect match, but it at least gives you that darker point here which is the darker point here. This is interesting here that I, went ahead and left that in the photo because it definitely, you can see it up in here in the actual framing of the head. Mm. So what just happened right there was I was kind of guided to move it, and when I did, it kind of was just an impulsive reaction that scooted it over in the position that I just scooted it in, which looks maybe a little closer to what we're seeing. But just to point out that that impulse that happens in my hand, I believe that that's not me doing that. When it gets jumped into place is what I call that. Oops. So that's at 1 opacity. Let's take that line off of there. I hate that. And that's with nothing in the picture. There's baby. So that was pretty interesting. Lips are looking like they match up really good right here. Let's check it out. 0. Let's focus on the lips for a minute. Okay, that was after vision. So when you get over the after vision, and I bring it back in, remember it's not an exact science, but it's because our eyes are seeing the light wrong too. We're not seeing it in the 3D. This piece right here is actually probably a little divot. You know how the lip comes up a little bit? So this is probably actually a little divot, and then, you have those things, but I believe that that's kind of why the little divot is here, to show me the 3D. There's the baby's actual lips, which is ironically where the lines match up. So, but R2DI, once we see it, oh no, it jumps into place. In that sense, the mouth doesn't look like, when I'm doing it fast, it looks like it blinks down. But when you literally do that, take it away. We're going past the point of after vision now. After vision should be long gone. We're going to actually give it another minute, because after vision shouldn't play a part in this. It's been gone too long now. So we'll bring that back in. I think that's a pretty good matchup. I think this white part right here gives it away. It's still in the photo, and the photo's not on the photo. So when the photo's fully in there, you can see that there's definitely a white difference. And when we fade it back out, there you go. If you were staring at that nose, you just saw it go from 2D to 3D right there. Alright, well, I am going to conclude this whole portrait to make my little pictures. I'll actually show you guys what I do for that real quick too, since I'm doing it. So I will go back in here and decide that's a little bit strong that I want to come in. I usually do a super light version and build in. So I just go ahead and save them. I should point out, I don't have the picture in the photo, so this is the original photo from the video with nothing added in except for the real picture. And this is the only thing that's going to be added in. Matter of fact, we could delete every single one of these other ones because this is the right fit. So we'll do that real quick just to get it out of the way. And now you can see we still have just baby in the picture. So we're going to start saving. And I will go in here. I was naming them like extra, extra light, light, medium, dark, half, and full. So now I just let it do this because how it's going to name itself anyways. So I save it that way with nothing in the picture but the original picture so I have it handy. And then I put Heather in at a 2. Go back in. You'll see the file has changed to now 1, 2 instead of 1, 1. So it just shows the progression for me. I go back in here. Usually I'll try to double or maybe a little more for the next one. So that's 8. And so this is how you would make your comparison picture. So we've got 1, 2, now 3. Remember, you're always going to try to judge it by looking at the picture too. That was where we just started. So if we're going to bring this picture in, I would now come up to probably about, I'm going to say 13 next. Because we don't want it to, this is actually a good one to have this happen to. So you can see it named itself 4. Because this one is pretty evident that you can see the baby. Usually if you have to kind of convince people, it's harder to have it darker. So I think we were just on 13. Now we're going to take it up to, we'll put it at 19. And I just keep saving them in succession. Now these first 5 that you've seen, these are probably the ones that will end up getting shared. The rest is for my benefit. So 19 plus 19 is 38. So now I just take it on up to 38 and double it and save it. And this is for the comparison of the background as well. 5 there. Now we're on 6. So now I go to half. 50% of the picture in. And so I save this one. Number 7. And one last one that I save. I always want to have, I always want to have a 100 picture also. And that's just for reference. Alright, so that's that. And then I will come usually to Facebook. So let me pull that up for you. Hey, honey, I'm going to call you back in just a couple minutes. I'm finishing up. Okay, I'll call you right back. All right, bye. All right. I'm going to go in here and grab my Facebook page. Facebook, and the reason I'm showing you this is because it's a really good way to... Is that Facebook? Yeah. Okay. It's a really good way to do a lot of comparison stuff. Maybe this is the old one. It might be from the other night. It is. I got a different shirt on. Okay, so I just go in here and... Sorry. Just start loading them up. And just so I know that they go in the correct order, I do them one at a time. Because Facebook is so goofy now as far as, rearranging the pics when you put them up there. It should go in order, but it doesn't. Okay, sorry. So it does take a minute, but it is worth it because that's where you can really see the comparisons start to come in. I always make sure the first photo I upload is the blank or the original. What do I have in here? 1, 2, 3, there's 4. So you can actually just see what I said right there. You can see a pretty good succession, and it makes it easier for other people to see it too. And then I'll usually go back in and critique, delete a picture or whatever if it's starting to get a little too, or if, you can't really tell a difference or something. Okay, that's 5, 6. And I'll also put them up here just so I can also have another place of reference to get the pictures if something were to happen, like to my computer or something. So usually I'll just put them all up there and then take out the ones I don't want, and then after I have posted the update or whatever on Buy Me a Coffee, I will usually go in here on my Facebook page and then make that public because it'll be private right now because it's not ready to be shown. I feel like I have to explain it a little bit. And maybe not on this page, but it needs to be out there explained somewhere, and then this can just be a reference that I go to. So I'm going to post that for only me. And so that way I don't have to worry. I use the only me option a lot. So now you kind of get to go through, especially on a desktop, it's nice. I've also changed my mind on things before, like I'm about to do right now. Maybe. Probably. So, I am going to flip back over. This is emergency. Flip back over to this screen. Because it's not unusual that I've saved lots of pictures and deleted them and came back because I can see the face differently now. And like I said, Facebook really helps with that. Okay. So let's get this back down. And so I don't think we got it right yet. Now, if you notice, I just adjusted on 0 opacity. You probably aren't going to want to do that very often. You'll throw yourself off big time doing that. And sometimes what I've noticed too is sometimes it's good to, if you can't get it right, just to lay it down and come back. You know, looking at it with fresh eyes makes a huge difference sometimes. Yeah, so you see why I'm not seeing it right, because it ain't right yet. I keep forgetting I got control here now. So that's why I was pointing out to you that because I cut just the face out, now I have control down here instead of it being that big square, which was however it was, but you remember seeing it up above. So that's why, you know, it's good to have control like this, because I can have it big still, even that big. Now I'm gonna keep toggling. Notice that it was at 0 again. Now the reason I pointed that out to you like I did is because I can see it in my mind's eye where I feel like it should be. We're getting closer. Is that the baby I see? So one way I like to check it too is to have it just kind of sitting in this position and toggle. I'm not doing this anymore. I think that's pretty close. I mean, I can't deny that it may be a little off. My hand is extremely tired right now. That may have did it right there. I'll probably say that 100 times, by the way. I want to see them lips match up. Okay, I am going to take a short break and I'll be back. Perfect. Instead of ending the broadcast, I am going to actually continue as if I'm beginning the video. In a second. Hey, honey.
Are you doing it live? My bad, I forgot.
That's okay.
All right, I'll let you go.
All right, I'll hit you back.
All right.
Okay. Later. Baby there. Hey, I'm gonna send you the link. That way you can you can know what I'm doing. Just in case you're wondering.
I trust you.
Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna send you the link.
No, send me the link, but just send me the link, man.
It didn't have anything to do with trust.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No problem.
I was confused. So I'm like, what? Okay, shoot me, I'm sure, but what? What you mean?
Okay, copy.
So I can see the live too. Is that what it is? Of the open broadcast or the podcast? Is that what they call it?
It's a vlog. Just kidding. Yes, you'll be able to see it. Giovanni and you are supposed to be the only two that have the link once I send it to you, but for some reason it was saying that I had two broadcasters when me and Giovanni was on at the same time. He was supposed to be the only one in the live, and it said two, and I had it open in another window, so I thought, well, maybe that's the second viewer, but I exited out and came back, and it never really changed. It still said two until a while later, and then it just showed one viewer, and that was Giovanni. So I don't know. It was a little bit weird because it's an unlisted video, which means you're not supposed to be able to see it unless you get the link.
Okay, well send me the link so we can test that out. I'll see. Webcam tightens up.
Okay, it cut out a lot of that message. I didn't hear it all.
I said I thought they always had a administrator or somebody that was, you had to have there was always a number of two people doing, I guess, what I'm saying, then the other viewer or associate that you allowed to view this thing right here. I thought it was something like that, right? In the program, as far as video chat, webcam stuff.
No, I mean, that was when you're in a group. This is on Yahoo. So the only thing that's really monitoring what I'm doing on Yahoo probably right now are bots, and they're set to look for certain things or to pick up on certain things. So I don't know. There could have been somebody in the live, but if they're that slick, then they're slick enough to not appear to be in the live also. So I don't know.
Well, just send me
It shows there's one viewer. I can't see who the one viewer is, so it could be the one of the two from earlier, or, and I don't know if it's Giovanni because I'm not going to call him this late. It's almost 1.
Okay, yeah. Well, so you gonna end that and then start a new one, or you can't? You know what I'm saying?
No, because it's unlisted. I'm just gonna, if I do get something good from it, I'm just gonna screenshot the video and post the video instead.
Okay, but okay, you wanna make a little notepad note about we're gonna have to test the connection parts that link.
I'm sending it to you now. Give me a sec. Did you get it?
Yeah, I got it.
And can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. It's like a 2-3 second delay when we talking right here with God.
Okay, well that's good to know. It just showed me now that I have 2 viewers, so now it said 1 again. All right, well I'm gonna go ahead and get back at it. Are you still in there?
Yeah, I'm still in here. Okay, so it works. You see just one person, right?
Yep, copy. That's what I was asking you. But when you came in, it said 2 people, and now 1 person's gone, and it just says 1 now.
Okay. This is kind of weird, trippy, because we can talk on these screen, and I'm seeing you live. What this is.
So did my laugh match up? Are my words matching up?
Yes.
Well, that's weird because I heard it late.
Now, like I said, the video is 2 seconds behind, but you know what I'm saying? It's still a trip that we can keep talking.
So did you see that flip of the screen?
Yes, I did. I did see that.
So while you were talking, it flipped, so it was pretty close in real time.
Copy.
Okay, copy that. All right, well, I'm going to get to it. No, I'm just saying I'm not going to be able to back and forth with you. I'm getting ready to start again. Because when I do go to do a screenshot record, I need it to just be what I need it to be. And by that, what I mean is I'm starting now again. I've already been on, you see, I've been on for an hour and 53 minutes. So I'll start my screenshot recording when I go back again. I just can't go back and forth with you right now and have my watch going off, or it's going to mess up what I'm about to do.
Okay. All right then. Well, all right. I'll leave it up.
You don't have to, like I said, that's how if you want to check and see if I'm, busy, or you should hit me up right then, see what I'm doing on the video. If I'm not on there, then hit me up. You know where I'll be.
Okay, but it just say, okay, but it just tells me live chat, top chat, one. But how do I save this?
All you have to do is go back to our message where I sent you the link when you want to go back in.
All you have to do is go back to our message.
Okay, copy that. Alright, so we're going to start again. This is going to be the live of Heather Sims case being revisited. That is going to be private episode 1, Soul Portrait 102. So I give you a little bit of the quick backstory in the description down below so you can read that and keep up. I'm just going to go ahead and get into the things that I've been working on over here. So last night when we first started the live, and I'm going to stop screen sharing that and just show you from last night. So last night when we were here, we had made 2 soul portraits. And so this ended up being, that's the original. And I was able to fit the baby in this way. So all night, it really, all night and all day, I kept thinking about it. And I can see the baby fitting in. And so that to me is Spirit's way of letting me know that it is the picture that you see in the actual video on YouTube of the medical detectives. This is the picture from that video that I screenshotted. So this is when the video is playing. This is actually in the video for 5 seconds, and you'll see that if you rewatch the live that I did last night. I went through all that and showed you how quickly it goes through, how this is what I was drawn to when I saw the 5 seconds in the video. So we ended up fitting in this picture, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. But when I take that picture away, you can still see her for a minute because of the after vision, is what they call that. But when that's gone, you end up seeing a little bit different of a face. So I have to bring that picture back to make you kind of realize what you saw. And it'll fade away pretty quickly now. So now I'm going to stop sharing that screen, and I'm going to take you to another screen. So in this screen, and I'm going to full size it. In this screen, I ended up wanting to try a different photo. So really quickly, just to let you see what photo I ended up trying. Sorry, it may take my computer a second to register that I need something. So this is a picture, this is the one right here, of the flyer. I'll show you the flyer real quick. So this was the flyer. So all I did was cut out that picture. That was actually Heather, the flyer, her missing flyer. And so you'll definitely need to read the backstory or watch the video on the backstory. So this is just that face that I cut out. And so I'll actually open a copy of it for you. So when I first started playing around, how I end up okay, thanks. So I will go in here when I first drop the picture and kind of start playing around with the transparency. This is the other picture that I have done on there, so I'm going to actually take that off. So this is the original picture from the video that I saw for the 5 seconds. This is the picture that I told you that I had cut out of the flyer. So last night when I did the other picture, it was a pretty good matchup, but I felt like I still needed to see this baby right here, the one that I see when I take that off of there. So I went ahead and played around with it and kind of went through that. So I did all that to show you that. Let me take that out. This was actually what I ended up superimposing, which is that same picture that you just saw me delete. So you can see that's on a 0 transparency. So this is the actual picture of the barrel. So, that's the wrong picture. There we go. So you can see it's on 0 transparency right now. So, and I'll actually get a little closer. So there is the 0 transparency. And we're just going to start bringing that in a little bit. So this is actually what we came into here. There's the original. Now we can see that baby. So, I do see that there's still a few adjustments that need to be made. Just a few, though. It's a pretty good matchup this time. So, what I was trying to do in order, for you to be able to get an eye on this is because last night I actually made a different soul portrait with a different picture of the same barrel that was shown in the video. And the picture that I made last night fit in, but when I take that picture away, it doesn't look like the image that you see right here. So this was the fit that came in when I played around with a different image tonight. And I'll actually post some of the beginner videos of that for you. Um, I keep trying to take the transparency down, but it's at 0. It's actually a really good matchup. So, I talked about too about you can see how the lines are cut out. So now we'll reduce that back down so you can see what I'm talking about. You can see the basic outlines are the same. And this is how I've always indicated of how spirit will play with light. These darker portions right here, um, you can definitely see what I'm talking about. That's at 100, so you can see the dark point here, the dark points here. And so once we bring that down, so you can see how it's kind of mapped out for me. So that's at 100. That's just to point out how you can see, the pieces of where things are, as opposed to the natural lines that are in the picture already. So we can see how these lines are right here, especially around that cheek area there. So when we bring this all the way down and out, we're at 0. So we still have this, cut out section of where the light shading is playing a role. So you can see how that just happens. You can see the cutout. You can see the shading right here in the triangle shape. That's at 0. So as we work the picture back in, you can see where the light of the triangle would be seen. So, there are certain points in the picture. Now, where when I saw this image, I could literally see, I had said I could see about right here. So when they showed this image on the screen, on the TV I was watching in the garage, normally your eyes are going to go, oh, wow, there's a barrel, and you're looking all around. My eyes instantly scan and stop. And from that point forward, that's the image that I saw of that 5 seconds. It was literally 5 seconds into the video, in the portion of the video that it was in. It was a 5-second clip. And I definitely indicate that and show you that on the video that I did last night that's up. So make sure you, fast forward. It's 4 hours long, ridiculously long. But there were a lot of discoveries made in that video. I actually did the inside of the barrel, had a picture of Mom literally holding either her or her baby sister that the mom had killed also. So it was a really good live. It was 4 hours, but it was long. So this was one of the pictures that I did, but I wasn't satisfied with it because now I can literally see the baby. That's the picture from the video without the baby added in. And there's what I see when they showed me that 5 seconds in the video. So that's kind of how it works for me. My eyes will light, and we can all, I can go through here and pick out faces for you if that's what you want to do. So, it's a little different than, you know, the average, oh, I see a face. And I'm not saying that those aren't relevant. Those possibly could be faces. I believe that that's actually what's really going on, is that these would be relevant, and they look really scary until you fit the right picture over top. So, this is what I'm trying to point out, is that sometimes, it'll be like a confirmation when I put that picture in yesterday and the points matched, is because I'm on to that spirit's way of letting me know that this is what I'm seeing is correct, even though it may not be the right portrait. What I have learned over this time period of now doing 100 plus soul portraits, is it's a matter of you finding the right picture, me finding the picture that I'm granted to see in 3D, because this is what you saw in the video, and you wouldn't even be looking at this space if I hadn't pointed it out. But now that I have pointed it out, you'll forever see, if you see this video, you'll be pointing out the baby, because now that I've shown you where the baby is, now you can see where the baby is. So I'm not sure how that's working out, why I'm so drawn to, it could have been anywhere. I could say that this looked like a little chihuahua. Did they have a chihuahua? It's just, I'm super sensitive. Is the only way I can describe it, because it was, like I said, 5 seconds in the video, but that's what I saw. So yeah, it makes a big difference also when you're bringing the image back in, that it doesn't get too far off kilter. So you'll want to move it up just a little bit and then try it again. Is that the baby you see? Now, right here we're getting into after vision, what experts will call after vision, where I've shown you an image now and it's kind of burned into your retina, and it takes seconds for your brain to connect the two, and it fades away. This doesn't fade away. So, I've shown you everything that I've done with the picture too, as far as manipulation of the picture goes. So, this is not the whole picture. I've already discussed that. So that's in the video, and you can rewatch that. I will end up splicing that in from this whole ridiculous amount of time getting to this point when I throw the video together. But, yeah, so, it's definitely I'm learning more now, because that's what made it harder for people to see it before. Because when I take the baby away, can you still see the baby? It's hard sometimes for other people to get past the after vision. Once the after vision is gone, and that plays a huge role in what I decide to put up and what I don't, what I share with other people, because it makes sense to me, and I can see it because I'm seeing, when the picture comes in, I'm seeing it about right here. That's the honest truth. That's how the picture actually was in the video. But when I see it like that, with a little more definition in 3D than what this has. So I don't even know how I'm that sensitive to seeing it, but there's a reason. So yeah, I did want to point that out to you, and that's why I called it, what I did, the Heather Sims case revisited, because to me it needed to be readdressed, because I feel like now I do have the right image, because we can still see Heather when Heather's not in the picture now. So I'm growing, I'm evolving, that's why I'm recording, because I do want to record the process, because I don't understand it either. There's zero transparency. You can watch me move this little meter. and look at the picture come in. So yeah, like I said, the way that the light is being played in the picture plays a huge role. So you can see as we get lower and lower. But even if I have that picture in here at a greater than 0.5%, when I take it out, and we get past after vision, you can still see baby. So this is a soul portrait, and I basically just walked you through from it's a feeling, I guess, like I said, when they play the video, this is what appears, this is what I see. Then I find the picture. I go searching for pictures. I saved 75 pictures in this case. This happened to be, and let me switch you back over here. This happened to be so let's get to the beginning of where I started saving. So right here is where I started saving. That is actually the baby that Paula killed the first time that she killed one of her children. Heather was the second baby. So there's even a huge difference. Make that bigger. There's even a huge difference in, what the babies actually look like too, to be mistaken by which baby that is on the trash can. And that is the baby who is literally in the trash can. Loralei, this is Loralei's picture, a piece of it. There's Loralei's skull. But this picture actually showed for, I think I counted 6 seconds, where it was running up the screen and it finally got past, and then it goes to this. So I had literally seconds of seeing that, and so only thing I just kept seeing in that was this woman who has murdered now 2 babies. And so this is Loralei. She was the first baby. And then, like I said, I didn't even try to do soul portrait on that, because that one's, people would say, whatever on that one. So when I did, this is the original right here, the original photo. You can see baby right here. This is the one from the actual screenshot from the YouTube video of the Medical Detectives TV show. I forget it's episode 2 something, but it's documentable. If you go right now to YouTube and it's actually in the link, I believe I put it in there. And I need to do that, and I will do that if I haven't. I'll put it in that live that I did that's public last night, so that you can actually go to. It's hold on, I'll tell you. I think it's if you go 12 minutes and 16 seconds into the video. That's where you are able to see. Yep, 12:16. Oh no, that's the one on the inside. So 14 minutes, and I even wrote it. That's the soul portrait picture. So 14 minutes and 32 seconds into the video, this is what you're going to see for 5 seconds. So, this was actually Loralei's missing flyer. And this is Heather's. So that is the picture, and I'm going to go ahead and take you off of that screen now. Oh, and before I do take you off of that screen, so this picture, the only thing that I did to this picture was I literally cut an area out so that all of this wasn't in the background. So that's why it's just Heather's head. But it's also just Heather's head. And, not to be funny, but Heather had, this is how it was identified of what actually happened to Heather. Also, just to point out, her head was, this is how they knew she was face down in the freezer. You see what I'm saying? That's why this picture was actually even made, so that we can, that they could show a jury that to convict Paula. So this is actually Heather, and I don't want to go into a lot of the backstory, but she had already killed Loralei. And then once Loralei was gone, and there's a big story on him because he was actually the one that kind of gave her a complex about girl babies. When she had Lorelei and brought her home from the hospital, the sleeping arrangements changed. Her and Lorelei had to sleep in another part of the house. She was not allowed to sleep with him. Now, he showed no affection, no attention. I tell you a little bit about this in the backstory, so on the description below, but he didn't want girls. He didn't like girls. Girls were not welcome. So when she killed Lorelei, this is actually, she had a son after that. And when she had the son, sleeping arrangements magically went back to she's allowed to sleep with him now, and the baby can sleep in the bed. And so she ended up getting pregnant again, unfortunately, with a girl for, Heather. And so she ended up killing Heather as well. So, yeah, that is Paula. Interesting picture of, just saying. Interesting picture of Robert Sims there. So yeah, I ended up saving 75, I believe, and then went back in and saved some other ones that I didn't have, just that are pretty significant. How she ended up getting caught was because she actually did the same exact thing in Lorelei's case. She said that somebody had broken in, hit her in the head, kidnapped the baby, and then the baby was, found days later dead. So, the reason I was pointing out the other picture also, the family picture, is because she claimed that she has, whatever the disease is, the postpartum thing, and that, that mixed with some other kind of syndrome is what made her kill the girls. But when you have that syndrome, you would kill probably any baby. But that's why he played a big part, because of how he treated the situation when it was girl babies. So I believe that played a huge decision, and he was never found, guilty of anything. So, and his son right here, his son and him actually died in a car crash together. The son was 27. So they actually are deceased as well. So yeah, this is either Lorelei. I believe that this is Lorelei. And then you look at him and you think, did something happen that he just changed to where he changed up how the household rolled? So yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing that screen. And let me go back here to the photo editor page with you. So yeah, so that's to let you know where I actually found, when I saw the picture of Heather's flyer, that's what I was actually showing you, is how far down it actually was. So I'll just let you know, it, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it was the 30th picture out of 75 that I saved. It was the first flyer picture that I found because the story that I came in on was of Heather. So it was the 30th picture, which I think that's pretty significant of how soul portraits work, because I knew there was a reason that I was being like overly savvy, if I can make that a word. I was being overly savvy because it is really important to have this variety of photos for you to be able to, once you see it, you know it, kind of thing. So I don't really pass up many opportunities to get as many photos as I can for that reason. But just to let you know, the reason I'm telling you that is because it's only number 30 out of 75, and then I added to that after. But I didn't know that this was the picture. I didn't even try this picture yesterday. It ended up being after I tried 2 other pictures in that slot, and I don't want to say that I settled for the one, but I knew when I unchecked that box, and I'm talking about when I unchecked that box right here, if you don't see that same baby right there, then it's going to be harder for people to believe it. So I knew it was a sleeping picture. You can tell it's a sleeping baby. And so out of all those pictures, out of all those 75, there's only one picture, number 30, is the actual picture that all I had to do was turn it a little bit and make it, smaller or bigger. But all the other pictures I have one other picture of Heather sleeping, and she's totally on her side. Blankets are, well, she's totally on her side. She's not looking forward at all. So that wasn't going to be the picture, because as you can see, this baby's pretty face forward. And so, like I said, it's not not an exact science. There are probably still changes that I can make that would perfect it even further. But let me tell you something. There is no shortage of cases in this field. So I just literally sat here and showed you the honest to God soul portrait, the way that you make a soul portrait. To me, it is obvious that it's not being manipulated. I've said this before. I don't think that anybody could literally be this good. This is the actual picture. So I don't think there is a human that can make you, fit these things in the same manner as what spirit can do. Spirit can take the picture and make you. People aren't this good. People aren't this talented. That's the same picture, so that picture is not manipulated in any way. That's the same as that. So there is no shortage of cases that there are to be worked on. So like I said, it's not a an exact science, but it doesn't need to be. Because what you just witnessed, how else do you explain that? How else do you explain that the picture on the can is that picture in real life? And don't get me wrong, I'm sure I could find another picture of another baby, and I could make it fit in too. But that's not the point. This little baby is gone, and there's only one picture on this earth that was taken of this baby that looks like this. And it's not even fitted in here, it's not even turned the right way, it's not even everything, because that picture of that baby fits right in there. And you can't really deny that. I don't think anybody on this earth is literally this heist sharp. Okay? People are good, but not the way the light points work, not the way the nostrils, the lips, the eyeballs, everything is the right size without me manipulating or stretching it this way or pulling it down a little bit to make that face fit. That ain't what's going on. That's the picture that is the only picture on this earth of Heather Sims. And it appears on the trash can that her poor little body was found in. So, I don't know. Let me know what you think. I think it's definitely a teachable skill. The reason I think it's so teachable is because all you have to do is teach people to look at the bigger picture. When this picture for 5 seconds was on the screen, like I said, we're scanning, oh wow, it's a barrel that the baby was put in. We're not even paying attention. That's the whole part. Like I said, who had a chihuahua? Is that an Ewok? I know. It's not funny. It's really not funny. It's just a little bit crazy because, I don't know, it looks so scary to us in 3D, but when you put the right picture, kind of makes sense in the story. I mean, maybe it's just me. Let me know if you think it is in the comments below, if you have the link. Because this is a private, this is literally the live Heather Sims case revisited. Private episode 1, Soul Portrait 102 revised to now Soul Portrait 104. So that's what you'll see this one listed as. I'm not going to change Soul Portrait to Soul Portrait 3 is different. I'll actually show you Soul Portrait 3 real quick because it's pretty good. Oops, go here. So this was Soul Portrait 103. So I'm gonna full screen that. This is literally Heather in the bag. I'm actually gonna bring it up. I can close this out and get right back to it whenever I need to. So I'm just gonna bring that in with real quick because I actually shouldn't go in this way. Give me one sec. Don't leave me yet. Gonna be good, I swear. I just gotta go to the one that I did of the picture. That way I don't have to add anything. And I can just show you what I'm talking about real quick. I say that. Okay. Let me make sure we're on the same page here. No, we are not. Let me cue you in on where I'm at. Here we are. We're over here. Okay. So I'm going to go back in and put it on full screen. So this is it right here. Okay, so that's what I wanted to point out too, because I also show you in an earlier part of the video where I had to flip a picture. That's one of the only other things that I ever do to a picture. So this is the original picture. So in order to get it to make the soul portrait, I just had to flip the picture. So I'll click on it now. And by me going in this way, then you guys get to see the layers as they come up. It's my computer. I've been on it for a minute now. How long have I been live? Only 2.5 hours. I don't know, it's being kind of stubborn. There it comes. So you can see the layers come in. So, like I was telling you, this is Heather's mouth. So this is Heather's little body and her head. This trash bag was also part of what convicted Paula. Those were found right in her kitchen in a picture taken the day that she reported her. Okay, so this is the picture of the barrel. This was Soul Portrait 103. So, of course, when I see this picture, I see this picture. So, I'm just going to show you real quick. First of all, I fit this picture in. And I didn't even count this as a soul portrait because, like I was telling you, when I click off of that, you can see it for a hot second. And then once visual after effect goes away, you want to see this whole cheek. You want to see this full face. And even though it actually fits in there too, this is what I always call a doublemint. So I'll point you to direct things like the nose. I'll point you to these light points right here. I'll point you to this piece right here. So these are some of the things that, there she is, 100% out of the picture. You can see those lips match up. So yeah, I didn't even count this as a soul portrait just because I am not able to have that picture in there and then take it out of the picture. You can only see it for that hot second. And about now, your face is wanting to see this has an eyeball, this has a cheek, a chin. So I wasn't, satisfied, even though I just showed you how it actually literally matches up and you can still see her. But it's important that it's not just after vision. So I didn't do that. So by now, you can see the chick. You can see her right here, what you want to see. So, I went searching. The only picture that isn't a skinny Paula, because as you saw in the other Paulas, she's really a really skinny person. Where she maybe even had any type of weight on her was this picture. Now, one thing about soul portraits is you have to be willing to look past what your mind wants you to see. Because if I can make that stick and you can still see her nose and her mouth, and you seen the fullness, you see the fullness. This was the only picture of Paula where she was a little chunky. So yeah, that's at 0. You can still see that picture I had in there. So when you really make sense of it, this is an eyelid that's closed. So when you bring it back in, You can see where that point of light is still at. It's still light right there. That's at 0. So one thing about soul portraits is you have to be willing to relinquish what you think you want to see in exchange for what's really there. Because if you're not willing to, if you're not able to let it go, it won't make a lot of sense. So I'm just going to point out that these lip lines right here are literally not really lip lines. That's the darker part of the inside of Paula's mouth right there. The shading in the picture is exactly what you're seeing right there. And if you really want to get picky, we can go deeper and make it this close up. And now we're going to bring it down. So everything you see how that is, how it's light pink, lighter pink to a white line, the white in here, the white in here, this block of white where it's separated by all of the shading aspects of the picture. Literally turn into pieces of the picture. That's at 0, guys. So, it's a matter of searching for the right photo and finding the right photo. And even though this is the right photo, and like I said, I believe that this is Heather that she's holding right here. It could be Loralei because, like I said, the smile on his face. But that could be for 1,000 reasons. It could be because he already knew she killed one daughter for him. Got away with it. So I do think that this is Heather, though, honestly, in my heart. But I'll never know that. So, like I said, you have to be willing to let go of. Now, what I was going to say is you have to be willing to let go of what your eye originally wants you to see. And because if you can do that and really find the right picture, it'll all make sense. And like I said, no one else was even looking at that. Everybody else was looking at the baby. And I did too. I don't want to make it seem like I did not look at the baby. Like I said, that's the poor baby's mouth. This is the poor baby's body. So of course, I was looking at that. But when this came on the screen, and I don't know where it's at exactly, I saw about right there. And maybe not with the white down here. I'm talking about the face. But I still don't want to delete the whole photo because I think that the whole photo is what lines up to let me know I'm on the right track of stuff. So what I'm talking about is these lines, even these lines up here. It's all set for me to be able to follow this track. See her underside of her chin? That was pointed out to me because I needed to find a chunky face picture, not like all of her pictures, a flat face picture. Because now that I've shown you the right photo, that's at 6, that's at 0. So yeah, that was the other soul portrait. That ended up coming from last night's live, so I am never going to discount the other soul portrait that I did of Heather with her eyes open. Because if I were to do the same thing with that one and, let you see that one as well with the eyes open. So one more time, I'm going to flash off of that for you. So that was that. I'm going to open the eye. Of course I am. The first one that I did the can. Oh, I'm on it. Was that it? That must be it on the same picture. Yes, it is. I just gotta let it load up and then you'll see the layers pop in there. Let me go back to full screen on it. Oh crap. This is why I need a new computer. I wish my computer was fast as me. That would be wonderful. But it don't last long because I bogs them down. Uh-oh. Getting an entanglement. Oh man, I really messed things up. Okay, well, like I said, I'm not going to worry about it because this is it. This is a 3-hour live again, so I'm going to go ahead and conclude this broadcast. Thanks for joining me. Like I said, I'm learning. This is a learning in progress thing for me, so just bear with me, and I'm going to get this right. You just saw pure evidence tonight of what happens to me, how these things happen. So, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be back again tomorrow. I don't know how to break it to the members that love me the most in my life, but I'm just about to go head first. There's no shortage of cases. So that's what I was pointing out earlier. That is also my reason for doing what I'm doing, is because I believe that this is a teachable, as long as you can teach people to look at the bigger picture and not just always on, this wasn't even the right picture, so it's a good thing the broadcast is over. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later. Love ya. Thanks for following.